welcome to our first workshop. Oh, it looks like we've got doggies helping us. Okay, so today we are going to do a workshop on downward dog. Now, usually when we're doing a vinyasa practice, there's so much going on and we move through things quite quickly that we don't really get a full chance to explain every single thing that needs to happen in each pose. So I thought that breaking it down into a workshop would be quite helpful. There are a few things to remember while we're doing this. Firstly, there isn't one hard and fast rule. So I think I've said it many times before, but you know your body best. And so understanding your body means that you understand how you can and can't get into poses. Now, it's not to say that if you don't find downward dog a restful pose at the moment, and I know that's quite amusing when you start doing yoga, but it is restful, believe me. That doesn't mean that you're never going to find it restful. It just means that maybe you haven't quite got your alignment to sit with your body, or it just may be that you need to build on your strength, and one day when I say find that stillness and enjoy the rest, you'll actually enjoy it and you won't laugh. And believe me, that happens to all of us. We all think at the beginning, oh my God, that's not restful, but actually it can be. So the first thing we're going to do is to work out how our arms and our legs work, because until we understand how our arms and legs work, we don't really understand how to get into a pose. So what I want you to do is to come standing up. Find out, dogs. And just allow your arms to fall where they fall. Now it might be that you need to just pause the video, go look at yourself in the mirror, ask your partner. See if you can see this part of your elbow. So some people's arms are like this, some people's naturally fall like this, some are in the middle, some people have one that does each. Like there's no wrong or right, but just have a look and just kind of shake your arms out and then just let them fall. And then have a look and you can see that you can kind of see the creases of my elbows. They're not particularly turned in, they're not particularly turned out. The next thing that you need to do, once you understand where your arms were, is find out what's going on with your knees and your legs. So the best way for us to do this is to sit back down on our mats with our legs out in front of us. Lie down. And I'll sit back a little bit. Put your feet up, that's how we would normally sit. And then just allow your legs to be like jelly. Let them kind of knock your feet together and then just let them go. Now you can see that my feet automatically want to turn out. This knee is kind of looking this way, this knee is kind of over here. If I rotate my feet, my knees move. Not everybody's does. And not everybody's knees move in the same way because it depends on what your hip joint is like and what your femur's like. So it's quite important. So have a play around, see where your legs naturally lie. If you have got a partner or someone else at home, get them to do it at the same time so you can see differences. And then once you understand how your feet and your legs work and your arms, then you've got a bit more information into how your poses are going to look. Girls, enough. I'm just going to kick the dogs out. Hold on, this is the real life of yoga, isn't it? Come on, girls. Off you go. And you, Tills. Let's go. Off we go. Come on. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Come on, stay. Right, now we'll be able to get back on with it. Sorry about that little interlude. So now we understand where our arms and our legs go. Now we can use that information to all poses, not just downward dog, but all poses. So even just standing, you know, you might always make yourself stand like this because once someone told you had to, it might be really excruciatingly painful. So, you know, this, much more comfy. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is props. So we've got our blocks. Our blocks in downward dog are for bringing the ground up to us, because the other thing that we'll find is that some people have longer arms than others. So if you were to sit sideways with a leg like this and then put your arm at shoulder length, you can see that my arm actually is resting on my knee. I don't have very long torso, don't have very long arms. Some people's will be like this, so they have a lot more space. Some people don't have very much space at all. This also is going to make a massive difference to whether you're going to need a block or not. So using blocks isn't wrong, it's not cheating, it's helping you because you understand what your body needs. Okay, so let's come into a downward dog. So just to start with, because we are trying to put a lot of things into practice all of a sudden, just come into your normal dog. So put your hands where you normally would, gently lift your hips up and back, have your feet where you would normally have them, pedal it out because it's our first one that we've done and we don't want to stretch anything at ourselves. Take any movements that feel right for you and then come into stillness. And then let's explore. So let's look up at our hands. Are our hands comfortable? Does that feel nice on our shoulders? Would it be better if we moved our hands towards us? Would it be better if we moved our hands further away? Try it, see how it feels. You might find that you need to move them back. Do you need to take them wider than the mat? Have a go. Maybe you need to bring them in really close. Or maybe you need those blocks just to bring the ground up just a little bit more. So let's just hang out on the blocks for a moment if it's not uncomfortable. And let's have a look at our feet. Now actually, if I put my hands on blocks, my heels go down, but normally my heels are up. But I actually quite like to turn my feet out because that's how my legs want to go, and then that's really comfy for me. I don't need to bend my knees, I don't need to do anything. So have a go at that. Maybe turning the feet in, maybe taking them really wide into a really wide dog would be nice. Sometimes that's just really comfy if you're having a day where you want to take it easy. Just equally, some people want their feet closer together. You really need to practice, play, and see what works for you. So this isn't something that you can do in your normal vinyasa practice, but you can do it afterwards. Make sure that you're warmed up a little bit, don't just go straight in. Even if it's just a slow lazy dog pedalled out is plenty, but don't hurt yourself. But if you're doing a practice, especially if you're doing a YouTube one, you can always pause the video, have a bit of a play around, press play, and then off you go. Remember, it's your practice for you, and there is no wrong and there is no right. The last thing that I want to add to our information is compression. You won't hear the word compression because it's something that we learn as yoga teachers, but it's not something that we share in classes because really there's not enough time. But it is quite important to understand compression. So there are two types. The first type is bone on bone, which basically means when one bone hits the next bone, there's nowhere else to go because the bones have met. In the same way that you can have bone with soft tissue. So for example, if you're on your back and you're doing happy baby and you've got big boobs, you might find that your thigh hits your boob before anything else. It's hit the soft tissue, it's not going anywhere else. So that's the thing you need to remember with compression, is once the bone on bone or the bone on soft tissue has met, you are at your end range. And it doesn't matter how flexible you are, how much you practice, for how many years you've done yoga, once you hit that compression, that is your end of range. And so once you accept that and realise that, a lot of the poses become much more accessible and you have a freedom because you understand that actually this is your body. It doesn't matter what Karen down the road's doing or Julie on Instagram, their bodies are going to be completely different from yours. So understanding your body gives you the power to enhance your practice and to make your practice better. So I really hope that this has been helpful for you. I am going to do some more workshops. I would love feedback because that's how I know that it's helping you. But thank you very much and have a really good play with your down dog and let me know how you get on.